These modes are not for the faint of heart. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 games with the hardest hard modes. For more gaming videos, check out our new spin-off channel, Mojo Plays, for in-depth reviews, thoughtful video essays, detailed character origins, and insightful commentary. Mojo Plays, games smarter. For this list, we're looking at the modes that go beyond making the game more challenging and push difficulty to the very limit. Number 10, New Game Plus, Dark Souls. There's a reason that the Souls series has a reputation for being some of the hardest games out there. After completing Dark Souls, players have the option to access New Game Plus. In exchange for keeping most of the weapons and items earned from the first playthrough, the game's difficulty will naturally rise. If the player beats the game again, they will gain New Game 2 Plus mode, which makes the game harder still. This process can repeat itself until the game caps off at New Game 6 Plus, which would be your 7th playthrough for those keeping track. This mode is only at number 10 though, because by the time you've hit New Game Plus, your character should be pretty OP. Number 9, Hell and Hell, Devil May Cry 4. In DMC4's Hell and Hell mode, Dante can be killed with just one hit, meaning you'll need to be flawless in your execution. Unlike Heaven or Hell mode, where enemies are equally fragile, these foes all return to full health. To stack the deck even further though, the actual difficulty setting used is Son of Sparta mode, meaning these foes actually have higher levels of health and Dante deals less damage than normal. This devilish difficulty will test even the most seasoned of gamers. Number 8, Bloodmoon Mode, Darkest Dungeon. No doubt fans of this dungeon crawler RPG thought that this game's Stygian mode was as hard as Darkest Dungeons could possibly get. This was unfortunately before the Crimson Court DLC and its brutal Bloodmoon Mode. Sharing Stygian mode's more powerful enemies and quicker depletion of the light meter, players must defeat the Crimson Court bosses if they want to clear this mode. But there's a catch. If the player doesn't beat Bloodmoon Mode in 100 in-game weeks, or 16 of their heroes die before they complete it, the game ends and the player's save file is erased. Claiming your birthright might be harder than you thought. Number 7, Legend XCOM 2. Years after an alien invasion led to Earth being conquered, the XCOM team is already fighting an uphill battle. Legend is a mode that makes these odds even harder to overcome though. Being 1.5 times longer than the normal campaign, Legend also ups the brutality exponentially. This mode disables the tutorial, no problem there, kills troops with one hit, reins in the rewards, and raises the cost of resources. Strategy is the name of the game here, and you'll have to think long and hard if you want to survive this challenging campaign. Number 6, Master Mode, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. Introduced in the Master Trials DLC, Master Mode offers players a tougher challenge as they trek across Hyrule's expansive landscape. Nearly every enemy that is encountered in the normal game is replaced with a stronger version of that enemy. Golden versions of these enemies also appear exclusive to this mode, in order to bring in an extra challenge in combat. All this, and these foes can also regain some of their health lost in battle. The addition of powerful and rare weapons does add some advantage in your favor, but they are being guarded by Octoroks on mid-air platforms. So with power, wisdom, and courage, players might be able to master this mode, but more likely they'll break their controller first. Number 5, Grounded, The Last of Us. Grounded makes survival much more difficult, what can we say? The infected have become far more cunning and vicious here, dealing out 3 times the damage. In addition, Listen Mode, which heightens Joel and Ellie's senses, is completely disabled along with the game's heads-up display. With checkpoints, ammo, and health items becoming quite the premium, players will have to search extensively for the resources they need while keeping their head on a swivel. It's a far more challenging and realistic experience, but it's a rewarding one to boot. Number 4. Invisible Enemy Mode, Resident Evil. Introduced in the 2002 Resident Evil remake and its 2015 remaster, it should be fairly obvious by the title of the mode about what was changed in-game to make a tougher challenge. But there's a bit more to it. Yeah, enemies are indeed invisible, although they can be seen briefly when they're attacked and can be tracked if they make a sound or leave water or dust tracks. Conceptualized by game director Shinji Mikami to make players change their tactics, should this be completed in less than 5 hours, they are rewarded with a letter of thanks from Mikami himself. Number 3. Survival Mode, Fallout 4. As with the other entries on this list, enemies in survival mode will be more powerful and harder to kill. This, however, is just the start of what players have to endure. Auto-saving and saving from the menu manually has been disabled, as you can only save by sleeping in a bed. Players are required to eat, drink, and sleep, or they will start losing their various special stats over time. Even obtaining heavy weapons will cause the player to be fatigued and damaged, causing the loss of agility and endurance. Plus, even ammo has weight to it that you have to factor in. Survival mode somehow made the Commonwealth that much harsher. Number 2. Expert Realism, Left 4 Dead 2. Expert and Realism, two deadly modes that, when put together, make for a frightening challenge. Whereas in normal mode, one survivor can mow down several common zombies, here, one zombie can kill basically all the survivors if they're not careful. Gunshots to a zombie's body are also reduced in damage, so aiming for the zombie's head is always the way to go. The common infected still do hunt in hordes, and the special infected are much stronger as well. Within all that chaos, you also can't see the lighted outlines on other players, so the chances of getting split up or killed by friendly fire are also much higher. Before we reveal our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Number 1. Ultra Nightmare, Doom 2016. The Doom reboot already proved itself by being an intense challenge that stayed true to the series' past. But the developers at id Software did not stop there. They would go on to one-up themselves with the Ultra Nightmare mode. As if dealing with wave after wave of ugly monsters isn't stressful enough, these foes also get a nice health power boost. But there is one other obstacle that this Space Marine has to contend with, and it's a doozy: permadeath. Should the player lose their life in this mode, their saved data is erased, and they must start from scratch. Brutal, but you said you wanted it hard, right? That's what she said. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.